What up, Core Keeper players? Today, we're looking at starting off with the flamethrower turret. I'll do a little setup here. You may have noticed that at a certain tile distance, well, even on screen, the flamethrower turret will just stop dealing damage. Similarly, the sprinkler is also impacted by player radius. At a tile length that is much further away, stops watering the ground. This is difficult to capture, but using the mod camera mode, you can take a picture from a distance. Using the mod does trigger the area to render, but it is fast enough to capture at least some of the area not having been watered. Shout out to As I Am So Shall You Be on Reddit for helping figure that out. The sleep bug is caused by entering a bed and going to sleep, exiting the world, and then re-entering the world. I had previously thought this bug had been fixed with the 1.205 stability patch. However, it just changed in appearance. From player one, or my perspective as the active player, I will not see it, but in a multiplayer game, all other players will. Both the robot arm and the farm arm interact with the critter catcher in unexpected ways. Give a brief moment here to set it up. I set the farm arm filter for a grimy stone pillar. And let's give it a minute to cook. So the robot arm, with its filter set to grimy stone pillar, successfully takes a critter out of the critter catcher and drops it, as does the farm arm. This bug takes a little bit of setup. You'll see here I make two identical loops, and what will happen here is we can create a set of circumstances that leads to the outputs being different. So even though they are built the exact same way, you have a chance of them behaving completely differently. You can see that all you have to do to recreate this is cycle the power on some objects with a competing spot for pickup. Takes a few tries, but here on this last loop you'll see I give it one more toggle on the lever for good measure, and it gets picked up by the item collector in the lower left-hand corner instead of the arm. Whichever way it is functioning will persist through a game save. This one's pretty easy to at least set up. Basically here we have 5 conveyor splitters with the stack of 1,000 coming from the middle, and it should be a 50-50 split. But you'll see here, these two right here, they combine and then split right in the middle. Not only that, but they change direction. So let's take a look at that a little slower. Here they are, approaching each other. They bounce away from each other, and then on the way splitting apart, they combine into a single stack and then split again, leading to highly inaccurate splits. The render timing is responsible for a lot of problems. This is when something behaves unexpectedly as a result of the player walking into range, causing it to render. Starting with clipping. This applies to mobs, NPCs, cattle. You start off with a configuration, looks like it's going to work great. There is no in-game physical reason that anything should ever be able to get out of that space, but you come back after being on adventure, and what do you find? that same render distance or whatever is happening here is causing mechanical failures to almost all of the new automation gear. You see here that after processing a gold ore, we have the gold that travels up with the seed. But if we come around to the other side, we'll see that there is gold sitting on top of the seed extractor. The seed extractor's failure to move the item along is a consequence of the render timing. It can also happen with crops and farm arms. It can also happen with shredders. This is my favorite bug, really. You know, when all of the circuitry falls apart after your game has been running for too long, look at this. I love, more than anything, spending hours cleaning up after a ton of broken chests. That creates the most ideal play experience. Robot arms that fail to function. That fully powered, it's just not actuating. It just doesn't work. Here we have maybe just something that could have been a little overlooked, but Glass 4 covers up the lighting effects of all the circuitry, which is kind of a bummer. You know, for the entire life of the game, drills produced seeds when they broke crops, and that's gone. No mention of that in the release notes. Where's the seeds at? This is something I haven't been able to replicate, but somehow ended up with 3 damn blocks attached to my person, but only in a specific radius of where I was supposed to have picked them up. And this last bug, I'm only going to show a screenshot from, because if ever I'm able to reliably replicate this bug, I will never report it and never post it on the internet. But what you see here is a screenshot where I am able to use one of the pouches with any item I want. As always, this episode is brought to you by Big Larva, the best automation tool in the game. Where's the seeds at?